Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. It is the 7th. I am still sick. Man. All right, so a little bit of chaos yesterday. That's all over now. Hopefully we can move that behind us. Coming over here to the chart, I'll show you here. So we had well, that's the treasury. We'll get into the treasury in a second. Yesterday in the E-mini, really solid move up off expectations of additional stimulus and reflation. And then all this chaos with the protesters entering the Capitol building and so forth happened, and you look at all these tails here, like just really wild action. But of course, it's all just it doesn't matter to the markets, at least, and so they have recovered it. So I'm kind of thinking that well, we not quite to like the all-time high, right? So we could get there. Wow. Not an all-time closing high, at least. So I'm thinking that we could get a little bit more of that. And the treasury here is, yeah, it's actually pretty close to where it was before. It looks like we have touched the, well, we haven't touched 137 where there was like really, really big orders. So, we'll, also there's like treasury supply numbers coming out today, so that's important. Oh, also we're getting continuing jobless claims here. Let's watch. Oh, I need to turn on the control panel. Oh no, what happened? Oh, I need to just close this workspace. That's why. Okay. So initial jobless claims 787,000 versus 800,000, slightly lower than expected. And okay, turn these on. Come back over here to charts. Oil also moving higher. Gold took a dump yesterday. I don't understand what the deal is with that. It was like pump and dumped, so that one's kind of odd. Kappa, yeah, kind of did a little bit like what gold did, to be honest. And then, of course, there is the dollar. The dollar is higher than it was yesterday. And lastly, we did see a little bit of Bitcoin. Honestly, well, so somebody's already asked me about Bitcoin. How do you like that move in Bitcoin? So here's Bitcoin. Notice that since the 24th, it's only given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles. I mean, those are 1,000 volume ones. Everybody's always talking about how much more volume there is in Bitcoin futures these days and everything. But when I look at it, I see no. And not only that, but look at the cumulative delta is just careening down. And I mean, hardcore. So I really don't think that this looks good in Bitcoin. I really don't. I think that the moves that they have had since Christmas is frankly insane and unsustainable. So that's where that's at. So over here for us, I've still got my short on. So I guess we'll try and hold it through the Treasury supply, and note that we have Fed Harker speaking and ISM non-manufacturing business activity at 10 o'clock. 2 bill auctions later today. So that's kind of where all that is at. Let's read through Twitter. Oh, actually, no. Let's turn on the Texas speech. Yes. Yes. Okay. Sorry you were sick. Yeah, I got tested. I do have the coronavirus, which is not that bad. By the way, thank you guys for the likes. I just saw the number increase. I was like, oh, thanks, guys. There we go. Yeah. It's let's see. You were tested and yeah, I was tested. Will you get a vaccine? Yeah, so this is the thing that like really I mean, yeah, it irks me. I mean, I understand that me being bothered by it is probably not, rational or based in fact, but you catch it. Supposedly you're not immune or safe. You still have to get the vaccine. They're saying that they don't that the immunity that you get from recovering from the virus isn't enough, or doesn't last long enough or something. I'm not sure if I believe it, and like it really bothers me that it's like, oh, and you still have to take the vaccine or you're not safe. But man, I can't even. Hello, prolonged wealth. John's is telling me that I was grumpy yesterday. I during stream, I was just mad at that one particular guy. But I am grumpy today. I am really pissed about this attack on the Capitol thing. I really, frankly, am. I feel like these idiots have done immeasurable damage to conservative causes. And I'm kind of sitting here wondering, like, can the Republicans ever win another office again? Like, is it just like all over? It's time that people stop listening to these idiots. It's another one that drives me crazy. You're gonna argue with me about this, but I'll get it in because I don't see Sunday Driver here yet. So there's a lot of people on social media saying, "Oh, it wasn't Donald Trump supporters; it was Antifa." False. Okay. Yeah, they did find that there was 2 Antifa guys there amongst the Donald Trump supporters. Okay. But are you trying to tell me that all of these people I've been arguing with on the Donald and TikTok for the past week are Antifa people posing as Donald Trump supporters? You want me to believe that all of these people that are well-known conservative activists that were live streaming the whole thing, like you gonna disbelieve my own eyes? It was Donald Trump supporters and maybe a few Antifa, but come on. I saw a congressman say he always thought the Capitol was secure. No. People gonna get fired over this because there was some pretty significant breaches of security that should not have happened. Remember when you said that Trump will be the last Republican president? I mean, you might be right, man. The thing is that ignore all of the voter fraud. Like, just pretend that that's not an argument for a second, all right? What we're getting right now is what I view as arbitrage. There are some parts of the country that have been raising minimum wages and have done things that make costs in those areas significantly higher than in other areas. It's no surprise that in the Democrat areas that, you know, it costs so much more to get a cup of coffee or whatever it is, right? And so these people are arbitraging it. They're saying, oh, okay, I get a job, I'll make a living here, and then I will take that money and I will move to a cheaper area. That's what they're doing. And the result is that many nice conservative areas are being flooded by liberals now. And in Georgia, it has gotten to the point now that Democrats can win everything in that state. I'm living that reality. We have 5 years to adjust what we charge our customers in order to pay a $15 an hour minimum wage. Ugh. That's so rough, dude. Like, the thing that I think is so funny, I just don't get it, is that you get these guys that they're really concerned about the minimum wage, okay? And they post a lot of charts that are frankly deceptive. Okay. When you really look at things, the minimum wage was like the highest in the 70s. And guess what? Like, we had crazy inflation in the 70s. Like, I'm starting to look at it now and I'm like, you know what? It seems like it's really hard to make inflation happen if you don't raise the minimum wage. So the reality is that we should raise the minimum wage, but it shouldn't be like they're raising it as much as people want it to. Frankly, at this point, I would be in favor of giving the minimum wage to the Federal Reserve and letting them modify it and having it, because it seems to me that it's a significant factor in all of the things that they look at. The only upside is rich people are usually Democrats who vote for that stuff. So when you charge them $450 to clean their houses, they're capable of paying it. Yeah, well, I mean, here's the good news. Okay, the good news is that the majority of the Democrat Party are not, woke. They think that they're woke, but the reality is that they really don't understand what these people want or are pushing for. Right? Most of these people are just average Americans that want to see progress in the world and, are okay with taxes. So I would think that if the Democrats tried to push some of the crazier things, that people will come out and say, no, that's a really bad idea, and here's why, and they'll back off. But we'll see. I'm kind of waiting now to see what they say today. Because they don't have to hide anymore, right? The Democrats can say whatever they want. So if they were going to go for, say, eliminating the filibuster, this is when I would start expecting them to start saying stuff about it. Of course, they could just waste all of their time So like Ilhan Omar wrote up additional impeachment articles against Donald Trump last night and all this stuff. Which is like silly. Like you don't even have enough time before he's out of office to even like do a procedural vote on it, guys. But they're doing that. So taxes and wages I can deal with. The racial justice stuff, if it were just in the form of allocating capital, basic stuff, I'd be okay with it. But turning it into oppressors versus oppressed ideology is just fanning flames of racial chaos. So I think that there is a great deal of animosity amongst conservatives, because the reality here is that it's the conservatives and the Republicans that have been left behind by this economy, right? I think that it just kind of ended up that way. It's kind of ironic, really. When I was a kid and George Bush was president, the Democrat Party was the party of the working people. And Republicans were the rich snobs. And now all of a sudden it's like the exact opposite, right? Republicans are all poor, apparently. And I think that the Democrats coming in and trying to tell everybody what should the poor people should be trying to do, and not actually doing anything that actually helps the poor, or certainly at least not poor Republicans, it is really creating some animosity. Especially since they go and they throw all of this stuff like this attack on the Capitol. Like, you're never gonna hear the end of it. And ironically, it's those who do the oppressing telling us we're oppressing one another. Yeah. This is the thing that pisses me off. It really truly makes me mad, is that Democrats will come out and it will be like, oh, we want to help the poor people. So then their solution to helping poor people is taxing the rich more. Guys, taxing the rich doesn't make me richer. It does not. It does not affect my ability to make money. Okay? Want to help me out? Make it easier for me to start businesses and get pay raises and be paid what I'm actually worth, and so on and so forth. Reduce business costs so that the businesses can actually afford to pay us more. And the Democrats are like adamantly opposed to all of those things. It's like they want you to just be slaves. It makes me mad. That's how I view it. But it's like higher education, academics, and their bloated salaries are the very reason for the high cost of education, telling students their education should be free because it's so expensive. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways. Wow. RBC capitulates and upgrades Tesla after a 2-year underperform rating. I have to say there's something satisfying about watching young Americans desecrating the artificial holiness of the U.S. Capitol. Well, I know that you guys probably don't want to talk politics the whole stream, but I do want to go into this because I'm sitting here. I guess I haven't said as much as I should, perhaps, but I'm just kind of sit and watch because I know that you can say whatever you want and it's not gonna do it. My whole life, it's every day now. Anytime I get online, it's just one incident after another incident of me knowing what's going on or what's going to happen, and somebody being in denial about it, and me trying to tell them, and literally nothing that you can say convinces them. I just realized you're still in ZN. Yeah, I'm still in ZN. I'm honestly, and until I see a fundamental change, I feel like let's just try holding it and see what happens. Because the last time that something happened like this, I regretted not doing that. It is a sim, but I remember the last presidency, and I was like, yeah, interest rates are going to rise now. And that was a long trend. And when changes like that happen in treasuries, they can go for a long time. And so I'm sitting here like, well, why not try and hold it for the whole? We'll see. Anyways, so the whole idea of we need to have a big crowd outside on the 6th and we're going to challenge the election results and the whole thing was stupid to begin with. Donald Trump is never going to overturn the results. There was this idea that Mike Pence could come in and he could refuse to certify them and send it back to the states. Absolutely preposterous. Even if he could, he wouldn't. You can't allow one person to completely be the decider of whether or not the election was legitimate or not. Can you realize the problems you're introducing if that actually happens? You do that, and then next time around, the vice president is a Democrat, and it's just, no, this is a dumb idea. And it appears that Donald Trump really wanted Mike Pence to do that, and Mike Pence decided not to. That's what it looks like to me. And I think that it's wow. It was just an absolutely terrible decision from Donald Trump. Since the election, his decision making has just been awful. It's just been awful. And the issue is that you had all of these people believe in it. Because, like, when Donald Trump says this shit, he's thinking, okay, this is like everything else in his life. He whines and complains about it and makes a big deal on Twitter, and the media, echoes what he says, and it's like we're the squeaky wheel, and then the politicians will finally have to do something about it, because that's the way that everything else in his life has worked. But when his supporters hear it, they hear, oh, we need to have a revolution. Yeah, well, you were misled. I don't think that Donald Trump really thought that people would storm the Capitol or that there would be a revolution. I don't know. But Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood made this whole thing 100 times worse. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. So Lynn Wood was saying that Mike Pence was going to betray Donald Trump and everything. And so all of the people on the Donald last night were like, see, Lynn Wood was right. No, he wasn't right. Any idiot could have told you that Pence wasn't going to do it. He wasn't right at all. He didn't have some special information that proves that Mike Pence has been a traitor all along and was going to no. He just knew that nobody would be stupid enough to decertify the election results all on their own. Like, the way that this what it should have worked is you go to court and they say, oh yeah, Pennsylvania, you guys didn't do things correctly. And then I don't know what your remedy is, but yeah, I'm really upset that the courts didn't deal with this correctly. And you know, that's the way that you do it. But having the vice president in some like run-of-the-mill procedural thing that happens all the time with no hitch, and that's the way that you keep Donald Trump in power, is just absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that so many people thought that this was realistic. And then you do you have to start to wonder about like what's going on in his head, because what did he think was going to happen? You tell people this and you tell them all to show up and everything. What are they going to do? Ugh. Now that said, I didn't think that it was like the end of the world. Like, you guys remember, oh man, this was a long time ago. I don't really remember a whole lot about this stuff anymore, but do you guys remember back when it was Wisconsin, I think it was. Was it Wisconsin? Where they were taking out the public teachers unions and stuff like that. They're like made a law that basically said that they can't have public unions. And the Democrats just threw a complete and utter fit. And the Democrat legislators skipped town, and demonstrators came in and occupied the Capitol for several days. And they're like, remember that whole mess? Right? Like, I don't think there's any reason that this couldn't have been the same thing. And I am so mad that somebody died. If you haven't looked at videos on that, there's like some more videos out today. I'm not going to show it here on YouTube because I don't want to have to censor the video, but there was a video that I saw yesterday where you can pretty clearly see her get shot. But this morning I came in and there's a video where you can see both the girl getting shot and the police officer that shot her, or the security officer that shot her. I thought that he was like all the way down the hall, or no, he was like 4 feet away from her. You just couldn't see him on the other side of the door. I watched 16 streams simultaneously for as long as, wow, man, dude. That's, Mick Mulvaney resigns from Trump administration. Go ahead. I don't think it matters. Nothing's going to happen. Why don't we know who fired the lethal shot in the Capitol building yesterday? Was it even a law enforcement or security? It was Capitol security. Anyways, it shouldn't have happened. I like straight up, nobody's life was in danger. And I think that the police officer could have tried physically restraining the woman first before, shooting people. I hope that something is done, but I ain't gonna hold my breath. But it's just so, like, not okay. I watched a kid streaming a channel with someone inside the building. I don't think they're probably, I don't think most of them are. I kind of wonder what's going to go on here now, because before it was post 2016, a lot of people tried creating their own Trump supporting events, because like the reality here is that everything you read is like anti-Trump everywhere, and people get sick of it. They want to be around people that think the way that they do. So there was quite a bit of demand for rallies of some sort. And these guys took advantage of that and made that Unite the Right rally and the whole Charlottesville, the whole Charlottesville fiasco and all of that, right? So after that, and let's be honest, they never admit it, but if you were to go back and see the deleted threads and everything else from the Donald, they totally fell for it. Like, I don't think that people really realized what they were going to. Oh, you're taking it long? Right there? I should be paying attention. None. Oh, actually, my robots did take longs. They just, I guess they're not. Huh. Okay, well, I guess they're just not synced. They came in and they said, okay, if you had started this earlier, I would be long. Anyways. So they were had, and after that happened, everybody basically said and agreed, like, don't go to rallies anymore unless it's sponsored by Donald Trump. And so the Donald Trump rallies became such a big thing because of that. So now if you don't have Donald Trump around, what happens, right? Well, I would think that he's still going to do rallies of some sort. But I really feel like this whole incident has soiled him. You know what I mean? Like before, what he should have done is he should have conceded and started a news network. Now I don't think he can even start a news network. It's really bad, you know? So there's going to be this vacuum. How are people going to fill it? Your friend has fallen for every far-right conspiracy. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, right? Yeah, I didn't hear Ace how your super spreader did. Well, has he ever started anything? He became president. Come on. He became president, and you know what? During the first half of his term, he got some stuff done. I tell you, one thing that I noticed, maybe I'm wrong, this is just a theory, but it seems to me that Donald Trump and Mr. Orrin Hatch got along really, really well, and that Donald Trump very much listened to Orrin Hatch. And it seems to me that after Orrin Hatch disappeared, that Donald has been making worse and worse decisions. You know? How will history judge him? Well, I don't know. The thing about it is that from a historian perspective, I don't really think that what history thinks of him as a person matters. Do you get what I mean? He has had a more significant impact on the United States than any president since JFK. So he resolved. Well, we'll see what happens, because Biden had all of these plans on immigration, and then they've been saying that they're not actually going to do that yet, or they can't do that yet, or whatever. But he resolved the border crisis. He changed the tax laws, and he showed people that the United States can use its leverage to positive effect around the world. And that we don't just have to sit by and let the rest of the world take advantage of us. So these are, and he made a change that he showed that do we really need the government to start working more for the everyday person? And I don't think that anybody disputes that now. It used to be that I think Republicans, I myself, would be inclined to say that they're doing just fine. But after this, now I think everybody says that, you know what, like the government is owned by the elites and is supporting the interests of the elites at the expense of everybody else, right? So those things are all so much more significant than his personality, things that are going to be lasting. So that's why I say that, like, what we think about him as a person, what history thinks about him, it doesn't matter, because he's had such an influence. And I think that that a lot of the influence on these things, that thing they were just talking about in particular, is a really positive thing. Only conspiracy nuts say that about elites. Do you truly believe that the government is supporting the interests of all Americans right now? Because I don't. I'm not calling it a conspiracy theory. I'm just saying that the congressmen, they listen to the lobbyists and they do what the lobbyists say, and then the lobbyists give them a job when they get out, and that's the way that business is done in the United States. And if the American public wants something and they are overwhelmingly together with something happening, except for the elites don't want it, then it's just not going to happen. And I think that is just undeniable at this point. You got the 2 points. Oh, you took the... Yeah, okay. I'm almost going to get it. You think it's going to give it to me? I've noticed that they tend to come just a little bit short. I'm gonna hang on. I could probably... So I've been having this issue where it's like, oh, I think this could run, and so I try and let it run, and it doesn't. My robots, they try and let it run. So let the robots try and let it run, and I'm going to try and take my 16 if I can get it. Anyways, I think that Donald Trump, I think you can blame Orrin Hatch. Like, here's the thing, is that Donald Trump, his effectiveness is really going to be down to the people around him, right? And when good people around him disappear, and it seems to me that, like, right now he doesn't really have good people around him, and he's kind of largely been abandoned, and he's listening to the people online, which like we know that he's been doing that. Okay, I wish I had saved that article, but you know, there had been articles about that Donald Trump was obsessed with the integrity of the election, and that he was reading all of the conspiracy theories online about it. And that's why you're getting what you are now. He fires them. Well, I mean, I like that he fired people, but he hired a lot of people that he really shouldn't have, right? Like the Mooch are probably the worst example of that, right? Like trying. I think maybe I should approach this from a different direction here, right? Like, here's the thing, is that when we talk about the president, it's like everybody turns it into a moral issue. It's like, well, it's a moral failing of the United States that we elected Donald Trump. It's a moral failing on your part if you voted for him. That's what people say. Politics don't work like that, guys. It's not the way that it works. Okay. It's similar to trading. You have to detach yourself from it to a certain extent if you really want to be effective. Right? Donald Trump was the hand that was dealt, and you try and deal with it the best that you can. And there was positives with him, and there was negatives with him. And when Orrin Hatch was around, I think that you got more of the positives. And over the past year or so, like really ever since the coronavirus thing came along, really, you've just been getting the bad, you know? They got him hyper focused on the wrong thing. If he hadn't been so hyper focused about the coronavirus is just a, you know, media is just overhyping it to ruin my presidency, and it's not that bad, and we shouldn't hurt the economy. If he wasn't so focused about that, okay, if he had taken the approach that I'm telling you to take right now, which is you've got to detach yourself from it to some extent, this is what he would have said. So he would have said, oh, having a huge medical crisis that's unprecedented in history is something really good for me as a leader. And this is something that I can really take advantage of. And I should go out there, and because people are afraid of it, I should just speak to their fears and reassure them about it. And if he had done that, then he would have won. He would have won. But he couldn't do it. He didn't want to do it because he was hyper focused on the fact that it was going to hurt the economy. So, what you gonna do? Okay, this latest trend is looking like somebody flipped the switch. So I said I was gonna take the profits, and in fact, what do you guys think? Tell me what you think about this. But I'm thinking that for a little while that I should just always take the 16, and so we can kind of get a little bit better stats, because haven't been holding to that very often, and so I don't really know what my hard win rate is. I'll go back and I'll look at these things where it's like I'll get loser after loser after loser, and it's because sometimes I'm holding on to them for so long. So anyways, the whole you've kind of got to detach yourself from it as well. The reason I get into that is because this is what people should have done. This is what the Donald Trump supporters should have done. Instead of saying we need to do something, we have to fight as hard as we can every step of the way to fight against this election fraud and keep Donald Trump in office. No. Like, that's you're holding on. What is it that he says in that movie? You have to let go of the past, kill it if you have to. It just, the time for action is before the election, when you're talking to people, when you're talking amongst yourselves about what kind of directions you should take, and messaging you should send out, and policy positions and everything else. And then people vote, and that's it. And after that November, it was the end, and you should stay home. Yeah, it was from one of those shitty Star Wars movies. I like that quote. I think let the past die. That's right. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Same thing in trading, right? If you make a loss and then you spend the whole time fighting against that loss, you're just going to make more losers, right? You have to accept that what happens and just continue to do your thing. A democracy is a delightful form of government, anarchic and motley, assigning a kind of equality indiscriminately to equals and unequals alike. Hmm. Democracy is the worst form of government except for all of those other forms that have been tried from time to time. And you know, it seems to me that both Democrats and Republicans alike don't really believe in our form of government sometimes. Because we're not a pure democracy, we are a republic. A republic is a type of democracy, okay? But we're a republic. And why are we a republic? Because as a republic, you designate people to act and make the decisions on our behalf, and those people get to spend their entire time understanding the issues and writing laws and doing the things. And this counters the issue that you tend to get in a democracy where an uneducated public makes bad decisions over and over and over again. So if that's the case, then why don't voters trust the representatives to make the right decisions? Well, I guess it's because we think that they're not actually making the decisions. We think that the lobbyists are. Something needs to be done there, but I still think that a representative democracy is the right way of doing things, and that you need to put people in there that are going to spend the time and understand the issues in ways that we as regular people can't. Is it Gary Rich post us a little song there? Oh, things can only get better. I don't know about that one. I'm gonna wait to see if the Democrats are really going to try and nuke the filibuster or not before I'm like, oh, everything's gonna be fine, guys. Do you got the 5 points? I took it off. It is getting high R here. Actually, well, that's actually kind of interesting. There could be more in it. We really need to come up with better ways to know. So, like, we have some really good edges to help us determine when a strong trend begins, where it will go to. But what we don't have is a strong way of determining whether or not it's actually one of those trends, and if it's not one of those trends, what it's going to do. You know what I mean? I suppose that to some extent it's unpredictable, but that's the second side of it, right? I can't for the life of me find anything that's like, you see this one technical pattern or whatever it is, and it happens often, and it has like a 60-70% chance of happening with equal risk reward. I've never found anything even remotely close. Like, the best percentage edge I can find is like 55%. Unless it's like really curve fitted. Traders gonna trade Michael are available in the store in the video description below. Yes. Oh man, CoffeeZilla took Ty Lopez's course. Oh man, so if you guys haven't watched CoffeeZilla, he's like my new favorite other guy on YouTube. And his whole thing is basically making fun of scammers on YouTube. You have no idea when it is going to be a strong trend. You do though. Like you clearly do, because there are so many times where you would just take the profit, where you wouldn't sit and try and let it run. Tuesday to Thursday. Well, that's true. Tends to be more activity Tuesday through Thursday. Wednesday tends to be the peak of the week, for sure. Yeah, 65 actually looks like an okay place to get back in again, but it's kind of flattening off. Catching your runners, but you don't always. Am I wrong? It seems to me that sometimes you will catch the runner, and sometimes you will immediately take the profit. And I don't know what the ratio of those two things are. And I've certainly seen times where you tried to catch the runner and it didn't go. But there are times where you just straight take the profit. And I don't get how you determine that. No, I mean, I understand that you're using multiple contracts, but there are some times I've seen you where you take a profit on that, additional contracts instead of letting it run. I don't know what the secret sauce is. You need to get in Discord so I can give you the robot and you can go back and watch the robot afterwards. Like, don't watch the robot as you're trading, but you can like run it through the back tester and see what entries it would have taken that day and compare it to your own entries, and we can try and figure out why it's different. I think I need to change this down here, my circle turner. This is giving me way too many bubbles. Okay, that's still a lot of absorption, relatively speaking, there. What makes you think that we're going to dump Vlad? If we break 30 and Tesla has his last breath daily extended, I don't know. Here's my take on today. Yesterday we had a huge rally, retracing the downturn that we had on Monday on expectations of additional monetary stimulus, and reflation. Then we kind of came back a little bit because of some political unrest that has since blown over. Donald Trump says there will be a peaceful transition of power, etc., etc., etc. So that means that we can just buy TF this again. That's my take. It'll be just like yesterday. And I mean, look at this trend. It looks like the buy program is on. I think I want to wait for the open and all that, but right there would be fine. I'm reading there's going to be a Jigsaw webinar on the 21st. Is it the 21st? Yeah, 21st of January. And it looks like they're going to be talking about some things that sound interesting to me. In particular, they're going to talk about how to spot when the market is moving between trends and chop. So, are there solid indicators that happen when that transition is happening? I would love to know what their thoughts on that is. Okay. Yeah, you can see the way the... Got 4 minutes. What the hell is Mara? No, that's a stock. You're depressed? It's a Marathon Patent Group. Did someone kick you out of the Capitol building? Here, I'm going to try turning on auto read because I don't have a lot to say
Amar
here.
Hussein says, hi, Seth.
Hey, Amar.
Trade says at Sugar Daddy your girl got shot breaching a door. Amar Hussein says this is Amar from Financial Juice.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Amar Hussein says just popping into to say hi.
Well, thank you very much for stopping in, man. I was talking to them the other day because I'm trying to get an affiliate link with them for you guys. I can't tell you how much I really like the Financial Juice guys. I'm not gonna say that it's like the best news squawk out there, but that they make it accessible to normal retail traders.
If we break past 3,775, it's bullish.
Yeah. It's a game changer, really. And I feel that a lot of retail traders have slept on trading the news because they just didn't have access to a good squawk. So oh man, I planned on making like 3 or 4 videos over the holiday break. And I spent like 2 or 3 days doing research just on this one to find you guys like the best moves and saying all the right things and stuff. So we're trying to put that video out for Monday. We're setting up a fan page so your live stream will be on the platform. Oh, thank you so much. That'd be great. I mean, I don't want anybody to think that like I'm amazing or anything. Sometimes I trade like really shit, but I appreciate it. 2 minutes.
Ace Trades says you are amazing.
Oh, you're amazing. So Ace, you have one kid catch it, but you don't believe that anybody else in your family caught it? Because I've got it. Monday was the worst, but this sickness that I've had all week, it is COVID-19, according to the test.
So Amar Hussein says, oh, and we are the best squawk provider, winking face. Sugar Daddy says at ACE Trades, I hate the rain. Makes me feel like drowning in my problems.
So I'll tell you, MR. So I was a really big fan of the Rand squawk.
Christian says what to invest in
and
today. I am 15% from Monday.
Oh, don't ask me. I'm not in on the individual stocks thing. And if you try their free trial, you can see what they do. But the one thing that I would get from Rand Squawk that I don't get from Financial Juice is like product specific streams. So for Rand Squawk, you could sign up for the fixed income stream, and then I would get news about fixed income. And frankly, I was getting news that I don't see anywhere else and that truly mattered. Like I was getting news about like certain large corporate offerings and block trades, things like that. Like there was some squawks sometimes where I could just straight up click it, like the market wouldn't react to it, but I would straight up click and it would go there. Like especially the block trades. Like they would tell you the block trade and where it's going to come in at before it happens. And that's kind of where I'm like, I'm not going to say that it's the best. And you can't say that you're that you're a Bloomberg terminal. Okay. But for what we're doing for retail traders, 100% gets the job done. And you guys do a great job. It really is a game changer. Okay, so there's the open. First impulse is up. I would love to just buy it right there, but I'll see if they come back on me. Let's see here. Financials and tech leading the charge on opening prints of the U.S. session. Well, that's good because they didn't do super high yesterday, did they?
Amar Hussein says it's an evolving platform. Slightly smiling face. We do what you and our customers ask for.
Yeah, that's good. I'm excited to see how you guys continue to develop it because there's still a couple of features that you guys showed us when you first announced the service that you know aren't quite there yet, but what you do have is really good. And I love that you guys have a Discord now too, even though I don't really use it, but Discords are great.
Amar Hussein says you're going to love the
Yes,
data
exactly.
visualization
That's
stuff
exactly
with
what I
adhere.
want. That's exactly what I want.
Ace Trades says 10. Vlad Stolyarov says JPM 3% up plus.
I tell you another thing that I would like to see. So recently Zero Hedge created a subscription service for them. And you know what? I was really disappointed in it. Like I signed up for it for 1 month. They have a more expensive subscription service where you get all of the Wall Street and analyst reports that people upload to them, which I don't see how they can legally do that. But hey,
Vlad Stolyarov says FAS Financials 4.6%.
Um,
Winston's mom says Amar Hussein,
oh.
hello. There is a video titled, The Most Important Indicator, with your name from the channel Investment Inspiration. Is this yours?
It might be. Because the most important indicator is news. Anyways, so I was hoping when I signed up for that, you know, I was going to get more stuff to read, but I didn't get it. So that's the other thing that, you know, I don't think they would be like an immediate thing, but maybe a year or two down the line, if you're going to expand that, I would like to see is I feel like sometimes I don't have as much serious quantitative analysis about macro and news and so forth as I would like. And sometimes I find myself trying to find stuff to read, you know? Pay up, sweetie pies, and suck it up for data. Stop being cheap. I wish I could spend more. I do. I really do. But that's the thing is that if I was going to spend more money on information right now that I've got the financial juice, I don't know where I would spend it. I would love to get like a $30, $50 subscription of some sort, but I have a couple of places that I kind of look at from time to time, but I just don't see anything that makes me super confident about putting the money down, you know? I've many times thought about getting the Financial Times subscription. But what I would really like is, again, something that tells me more about bonds. And I have some websites that I've found that give me good information about what's going on with municipal bonds and stuff. But like that stuff like that I would get from Ransquawk, that's like, oh, here's a big bond offering just came out and stuff like I don't see that. I've never seen that sort of information anywhere else. Where they must be pulling it from a Bloomberg terminal. There's nobody else, you know, shares information like that. I want like a, you know, Zero Hedge style macro analysis articles focused primarily on bonds. That's what I would like to see. Hey, Air Cages, how have you been, by the way? Bloomberg is $39 a month. Yeah, it's on the list, Carrie. I just... The issue with it is that when I go to Bloomberg or I go to the Financial Times, from time to time I will see an article that I find is interesting, but I don't see articles that's like, oh, this is going to keep me engaged every day, and this product is clearly better than this product. And I'm worried that like I'm going to go and get a Bloomberg subscription and then not watch it most days, you know? Okay, so 75 is kind of the key area we got to look at here, huh? I'm just here to announce I sold all of my Bitcoin. It's been a tough call, but I think it's time for me. Wow, really, Air Cages? Well, it's crazy, right? It's just what's going on over there is super insane. Okay, Zero Hedge is tweeting that the 10-year treasuries hit the CTA liquidation trigger. So let's see. Okay, there's 75.
Winston's mom says Mick Mulvaney has just resigned from the administration.
Yeah, that you missed. We post that was like at the beginning of the stream. Maga Jihadis. Okay, I don't want to read that, but that's scary. Oh yeah. So Alibaba is down because delisting scare. I'm surprised that not every Chinese stock out there is down. That they survived as long as they could. But maybe it's because I think that Joe Biden will rescind all this stuff in a week. 2 weeks or whatever it is. Okay, so I guess that was the record all-time high in the S&P there.
Air Cages says 38K is good enough for me. I've been leveraging in since $4.05K for a very long time.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't handle another crash.
So you made bank, man. Good job. I mean, I'll admit, I am disappointed that I wasn't able to get in on this last run. I suppose it came back to fair value and that I could have done it, but the way that I was playing the strategy was waiting for an overextension on the short side, and that never happened. And I guess it was maybe foolish to expect that, but what's been happening the past week is nuts.
Pretty emotional.
Yeah, I just cannot imagine.
Vlad Stolyarov says 16K dip was only time to get in.
I really don't see this lasting much longer. And I'm really concerned about what they're going to do.
When it crashes?
If it gives me an entry, maybe. And I have money at the time, I don't know. I guess I need to keep some stimulus check out there so that I can put it into that if it gives me a good opportunity. Okay. But it has to get to the right values, and the buy trigger for me right now is like 6K. So yeah. And like I said, there is a key date of next Friday.
Says I'll kick myself if this thing ends up going to $100,000
right.
LMAO.
Next Friday is a key date for the tether.
All shit floats to the top eventually.
So I'm a little concerned about what might happen to Bitcoin ahead of that.
Ace Trades says at Air Cage is not that it is anyone's beeswax, but are you saying you made a cool 38K on Bitcoin? Well,
oh man. So I think Air Cages first came along a little bit before your time, Ace, but during the first Bitcoin crash, like the 2017 one, this guy made so much fucking money off of that and the altcoins. Yeah, he's a high roller. And he'll come in every, few months and say hi. Because we used to talk via private message quite a bit during that time. We're good friends. So I always appreciate when he stops back in. So I get it, because it doesn't make sense for everybody to watch every stream. I really love those of you guys that do, but for some people that's a distraction, or they don't want to bias themselves, but that they will still come in and say hi from time to time is so great. Okay. Zero Hedge tweets, the S&P 500 hits record highs. The CTA's brace to short the 10-year treasuries. A reminder, a fast spike in yields will trigger VAR liquidations. Only a slow move in rates won't disrupt equities. Okay, so that is important thing to note is that if the treasuries really start dumping, that it might hurt the equities.
Says that air cages. Oh, okay, good, right?
Can you believe the spots that this thing takes? Some of the trades, the robots that I've done, I'll look at it and I'm like, well, it looks like it randomly makes money, but the spots that it catches really suck and this and that, and I can do better. But this one is, there's something to this one. This does better than me. It screws up.
Says I've built up a substantial position and exited all now. Yeah, it's great, but I'm still feeling FOMO, haha.
Oh, you always do. Well, I don't know if everybody gets this way, but I just always feel guilty almost when I make decisions. You know, like if I decide to subscribe to a subscription service, it's like I feel guilty afterwards. If I decide to buy a stock.
Mad about money you don't make. He says that he's always mad about money he didn't make.
And then when I take profits, like I remember that when I made my money in the cryptos, because we did make a good chunk of change. I didn't put any of my own money in, and I made well over $1,000 out of thin air from that 2017 rush, and a lot of it came from Siacoin. So I made a big win in Siacoin, and I took the majority of it off. I really should have taken all of it off.
I need to stimulate check. My
Yeah, there you go.
All my money. I mean, I gave to her.
And I literally sold it at the top. Like I got there, it was having a run that night, and I'm like, well, it's according to all of my metrics and everything, it says that it's overvalued. And I even posted about it and told them like I'm getting out. And they fought around with me, but gave me a spot. And I actively felt like the robots and everything were dinking around with me, and that I got the best of them. So I got out, and then the next day they were like down 50%, and I was like, holy shit.
From the 50s.
What was I getting? Anyways, I felt really guilty afterwards. I was like, did I do the right thing? Should I have gotten rid of all? I should have gotten rid of all of it, but it's okay. The amount that I left on was like, I don't remember how much it was worth. It wasn't worth a significant amount, though. But then what happened in Siacoin was that their whole thing was that they were going to be friendly towards ASICs, and that they were actually making their own ASIC. And before they were able to finish development on their ASIC and put it out, somebody else beat them to it and started mining it with an ASIC, and it just destroyed the coin. It just absolutely destroyed the coin.
Sugar Daddy says at ACE trades now. She is still there, but painful to give my money.
My wife wants a new dryer. I would really like to save the dryer that I have, because it is a better dryer than what I would buy new, but it's not drying very well. I don't know if it's the flu, or I need to get its repair guy down and look at it. It's kind of funny. I've always wanted.
Says, do you know about the lint trap?
Yeah, yes, I know about the lint trap. We completely took that dryer apart to fix it, because there was some. I don't know what happens, but like you'll take the bottom of it out, and like the whole thing is filled with lint, which is very, very dangerous. Anyways, I've always wanted to have like a portfolio of mad money for my stocks, and to manage a portfolio of stocks, and I've got that going now, and I have the amount that I wanted. And I'm sitting here like going through stocks and researching, and I'm just not. I don't get the thing. Like when I picked up the ones that I have now, I was like, okay, this is an area that I want, and I like this company, and I know this thing. So I want to get in this. And since then, I haven't seen anything. So it's like, I'm like under invested. I was like, what am I going to do with it? And then they give you more money. And I'm like, well, am I supposed to put that in the market too? Like, I don't. You're about to get wrecked. It all starts with buying a new dryer and it's downhill from there. Yeah, well, I think she wants a new car too because her van, the AC on her van doesn't really work. But she hasn't said a whole lot about it recently because we never have to drive anywhere anymore. But she's going to need it. Okay, your fan page is live. Oh, okay. You should send it to me via email, Lamar, because YouTube doesn't always let you post links. I mean, you can try posting it, but if it's a link, if it's a domain that YouTube doesn't recognize, it usually will hide it. You will look like you posted it, but we don't see it. If you feel guilty for making money in markets, no, I don't feel guilty for making the money. That's not it. I feel guilty for doing the thing, for making the decision. Like, do you ever go to the store and you're like, well, here's this thing I wasn't planning on buying, and then you end up buying it, and then afterwards you feel guilty, right? I think a lot of people get that feeling sometimes. Some people get this rush from buying stuff, and that's why they have problems. You know, it creates psychological problems. But other people have, you know, this internalized, like, I need to be careful about what I'm spending and being responsible. And so every time that I make a decision, I'm always like, well, was that the correct, responsible thing to do? Let me check here. What's the best beginner's guide to trading? I don't know if there really is one. I'm writing one. Let me see here. So I'm guessing you sent it to my Proton mail. Now, if you posted it here in YouTube, Omar, we can't see it. Okay, so how would you get started trading for total beginners? Okay, so I have a couple of videos here on my channel that talk a little bit more about mechanics and some of the big do's and don'ts. So if you go to my main page and there's like getting started, and start watching all of those, and it'll talk about, okay, like, you need to get the software and all these sorts of things, and here's some of like the major education resources and stuff like that. So I would go and watch those and kind of get a basic idea for how this market works and what you have to do to even trade on it. Yeah, here on YouTube. So you're gonna just click on the channel page. From there, the best teacher is the market. So from there, you need to start watching the action every day. Make sure that you're aware of what news is going on, and judge what, you know, the market is reacting to when it moves. And you do that long enough, and hopefully you will find patterns, and you can go in and keep records and build strategies off of that. And that's how I would start. Okay. But you have to realize, and this is the thing that I'll get into in all of those videos, is that trading is a very entrepreneurial thing, which means that you're trying to find something that nobody else does yet. You're trying to find an inefficiency in the market that the market doesn't realize is there. Trading is like poker. If in the 15 minutes you don't know who the sucker is, you are the sucker. There you go. So that was they're kind of being weird about this 75.
Block cell.
Okay. So we just got a big sell into 31. The Treasury's traded a ton down here at 30, by the way. Why don't you become more flashy and flamboyant for the views? People don't listen, they see. Because I'm trying to trade and make money here, and if I did all of that, it would negatively affect my trading. Okay, now I see it. Oh, there you go. Now that link that you just gave me, Amar, that's not the affiliate link per se, is it? Well, somebody's microphone there on the feed was messed up. He came over and it was all like robotic. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Win always gets the links for us. Thank you so much, Win. Oh, okay. So it is anybody that signs up through that URL will be connected to me. So, good deal. No, man, I wish you guys could hear it because it sounds so weird. I can't even begin to fathom what causes that. But his microphone is screwed up. Sugar Daddy. Man. I find it so frustrating to try and explain complicated ideas to my wife. Not because she doesn't understand them. I think that she is like, so, I mean, she got a psychology degree, but she's pretty bright. I think she could have done a lot more education than she did. So she totally understands it. It's just she just doesn't really care or want to talk about that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I want to talk about it, and it's great that you're so nice and you let me talk about it to you, but it would be nice if I could talk about it with somebody that cared too, you know? I'm sure that it's like that for most of you, right? Okay, well this trade is I should probably move my target because the chances of them just going to 37.76 and stopping is pretty low. But I'm going to stick to the let's try and take 16 ticks at a time. So women are good for thing. It's not what you think it's complaining. She's not really a complainer. There you go. See that? I should have pulled it. There's no way it's just going to stop there. Thank you, sir. And let's see here. This robot should try and take it for 3, so... He still thinks that there's another point or two in it. You hit your ZB target from... Oh, did you take it long? I didn't... I missed that one for long, but good job, I guess. I tell you what, the Treasury sure rebounded hard down there, didn't they? But it kind of all looks like par for the course. I must say, for all of the talk about that CTAs are going to come flooding in when the Treasury hits over 1%, it's really been quite pedestrian action in the Treasury so far, wouldn't you say? People are stupid. They like shiny. I like shiny things. Oh, yeah. Shiny things, or even better, shiny things that are slightly iridescent, you know? Oh, yeah. I love that. Okay, cool. So now that I got that link, oh, and I wonder what does it look like if you're not logged in? If I come in here and sign out, and I go to this link, does it tell you like, hey, sign up through here? Oh, you can follow it. And now it still says I'm logged in. How do you get out? How do you sign out? Have to clear the cookies? Oh, let's try an incognito window. New private window. Oh, yeah, so we're getting all these numbers here, huh? There we go. So if you come here and you sign up, then I think that it links you to me, so. Okay, so about 10 seconds here. Bum. We're looking for non-manufacturing business activity estimated 55. And I'm buying that. Okay. Okay, non-manufacturing business activity 59, spot 4 versus an estimated 55. Non-manufacturing new orders 58, spot 5. Non-manufacturing prices 64, spot 8. Non-manufacturing employment 48, spot 2. IVPMI in Canada 46, spot 7. Where's the non-manufacturing PMI? 57 spot 2 versus 54 spot 6. So a good run of numbers there. Oh, they're gapping. They gap in there. So the issue that we got here is we got good news coming out at the top of a fairly good rally. So you get profit taking and stuff like that. I don't know if it makes sense for me to be trying to buy it up in here. Maybe if I got it more like down here, but they may just go without us though. But we've taken it 3 times now. We're at 3 for 3. Maybe we should just be like, hey, we did good and not push our luck, right? I'm gonna keep that. It was a top 20 and bottom 20 funds of 2020. Okay. Wait, which one is selling it there? Oh, it was, yeah, okay. Joseph. I forgot which one that was. That's our good friend Joseph Warrior. I felt like they priced it in before they announced it. There's probably true to some extent. He's actually taking it long though, so now let's go and look at like the targets and stuff, right? Trading view is how I look at this because I don't get the data on NinjaTrader. Oh, okay, so first VIX target would be all the way up at 93. Oh, look at that run. Well, I think we're gonna miss it. Well, the robot caught it though. Look at how he caught it. It was such a good buy. Oh man. I tell you what. Okay. There you go. I guess I should have just FOMO'd into that one, but that's okay. I kind of put that out there just as a like, okay, so well, if it comes back too far, I'll catch it, but it's fine. Okay, now the treasury's ticking down there at 30.5. It looks like there's still some volume at 30.5, curiously enough. My oh my. You couldn't catch it. Yeah, well, that was, listen to the clicks, man. There's just mania. Mania here. Big Toasty, how are you? Oh, 5K, wow, wow. Joseph's getting a good runner here. But he looks for the runner. Like he's looking for it to go 10 points. So they still got a bit to go. They got to get to 96. The 37.90 area didn't look too bad. What's your target? Well, so the VIX range estimate first target was 37.93.94 or so. So I think that we can say we touched that. There's usually a little bit of a breather, right? Then the next step up is 38.20. Now for my robot, it tries to take 10 points. And keep in mind that it's a YOLO. It gets it maybe like 30% of the time. Okay, but it got in at 37.86. So I guess that means that it wants it to go to 37.96. So we'll see if it gets it.
Block cell.
And in the treasuries here, I want to see them. Okay, so that was maybe a little bit of what I wanted to see. They just totally sold 30 there, and people were already hitting into 29.5 and getting a little anxious about it. Yep, look at that. And look at how quickly they took 29. Ooh, boy. New low here coming? You think? Because that was the way they took 29. I mean, that's informed trading there, right there, man. Like, they all know what's going on and they want to sell it. Although the robots didn't really pull. I mean, it was 4K on there. I guess 4K it's okay because that's just like take profits down here. But and I guess it's good that the liquidity is holding. But we should be just keeping an eye out to see if this starts going into, this mode where it just pulls and they just trade down. Because what you'll often see with the treasuries is you get a move like this, and it seems like, okay, it's a big move, like it's down. So if it's going to go down again, we should once again see strong volume. But then you'll see it go down on like literally no volume. Like the levels just pull and they only trade like 500 to go through. And you're like, what the fuck? Oh, that used to, back in the day, that was the thing that would always catch us, wasn't it? It was the moves that happened without the volume, without the cumulative delta, and it would just trick me every time. Okay, so Zero Hedge has something about the ISM. After a mixed bag from soft survey data so far, analysts expected ISM services to continue sliding lower in December, but instead it shot higher, bucking the trend from markets services PMI. And as all of that hard economic data continues to slump, the picture from the underlying factors paints a very different picture, with jobs tumbling. The ISM's employment measure fell to 48.2, which is a contraction, after showing growth of the previous 3 months. The pickup in growth at companies that make up a biggest part of the economy is surprising given the increase in coronavirus cases and tighter business restrictions in some states. At the same time, the employment gauge contracted for the first time in 4 months, showing the ongoing drag in the job market from the pandemic. However, aside from faster growth in business activity and orders, the overall index was bolstered by a jump in the supplier deliveries gauge. Similar to manufacturers, lead times at service providers may have lengthened because of the pandemic-related disruptions to supply chains. How is that a positive? So I did not understand what they were trying to say there at all, but I thought it was interesting. Oh, so I see lead times have lengthened because of pandemic-related restrictions. But how does that... Oh. Then that's why the new orders was as high as it was? Okay. I don't know if it matters. Okay, so now on Financial Juice, one of the guys has is giving himself an echo. Like he's coming out twice, but they're just like a millisecond off, and so you get the it sounds like Reaper from Overwatch. Tommy Larson, good luck trading. Thank you. Guess I can turn the auto read back on, huh? I'm starting to develop a complicated relationship with the auto read button, huh? Because every time I click it on, I regret doing it because I want to go into something. But I know, oops, that's not what I wanted. Didn't mean to click.
Ace Trades says at Sugar Daddy, yeah, nothing less useful in an apocalypse than shiny soft metal.
What do you guys make of gold pump and dumping yesterday? That was not. I still haven't seen a good explanation for that one. Bitcoin was up on inflation fears. You'd expect gold would be up.
Ace Trades says at Tommy Lawson, thanks. Long from 3,759.75.
Oh, really? Oh, you're still long. That's great, dude. That's great.
Winston's mom says, clip yesterday's gold dumping. Vlad Stolyarov says 789 moving AVG. Vlad
Well, I really want this.
TSLA 794 high of day so far.
I really want this to work out for Joseph, but I think that they're gonna give him a hard time first. Zero.
Says DXY 89.9.
Zero Hedge tweets everyone back in the pool. Like that's literally exactly what it was. Is everybody like got out on Monday and now they're like, okay, it's fine, we can get back in. Yesterday, January the 6th, a motley band of Antifa, MAGA, and what appears to be a Minotaur entered Congress uninvited. They had no plan, no leadership, few allies, and no clear agenda.
Says
Just
it's not fair, slightly smiling face. Vlad Stolyarov says I don't like this kind of markets. Ace Trades says with today's profit, if Biden takes my guns, I can just get more.
there you go. It's a good win. Oh, so remind me, Ace, how many ticks do you trail it?
Ace Trades says bullets will still be a problem, however.
How many ticks do you trail your stop? I don't think I ever tried a trailing stop on your robot.
Ace Trades says I usually don't after the first 2 points.
Oh, you don't? I thought that the trailing stop was essentially how you decided to take your profits.
Ace Trades says I just let it run, and then adjust as it moves up. I don't use
Okay.
trailing stop anymore.
Curious. It's okay. I have the coronavirus. One of you kids has the coronavirus. So a week or two from now, there'd be no reason to be,
Ace Trades
right?
says, but if was training a new guy, I would suggest half if it hits 10 points, lock in 5.
Yeah, okay. Sure. I totally get where you're getting that from too, because it's definitely seems to me like when I catch 10 or to 20, then it's like it stops.
Points, lock in 10.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sure.
Winston's mom says Ace Trades, you can
Oh, that's
probably
actually
find
an
bullet
interesting
molds
thought.
online. If all else fails, like our society, think like the colonials. If you use molds, you can fill the forms with anything. Ace Trades says, but after 20 points, I get greedy.
Well, if I had a good reason to think that it was going to keep going, I don't know. It's tough. There's trying to find. Oh my gosh, the new squawk is so. They'll fix it. They're good. Finding like real technical numbers to justify how to do these sorts of things is super hard.
Think society will fail. Sugar Daddy says, oh, I guess Seth is talking about a fixed trailing stop. Seth, try a manual trailing stop, and only adjust when it deep in the money.
Sure. I mean, that's the way that I would do it when I was trailing. Well, the problem is just that I always ended up taking the profit too early with that. Oh, you know why it's doing that? It's me. It's because I have it open twice. Okay, I close one of these and I can bring the volume down too. Okay. Silly me.
Says I do the same thing, Seth. So mad the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a mathematically most efficient way, you know, to determine how to take profits.
Vlad Stolyarov says watch 9897 starting to get too extended S.
Anyways, so after we're not sick anymore, you guys can come over. We can cook a pork butt or something. And, you know, the women and children can play with the baby.
Try to remember to not be mad about picking a good spot, making my goal. It's just hard when it runs north or south all day. Winston's mom says bless you.
And then I can show you the robot entries and we can try and adjust it.
Ace Trades says that sounds good. Can't wait for good days of social interaction.
Right?
Well, says reason it runs BC Retail stopped out and chase rinse repeat game.
You think so? I don't know if they're stopping out, but there's definitely some chasing going on here, right? There's definitely some chasing going on here.
Big Toasty says now I'm on my desk.
I kind of wonder, though, at what point does the 10-year treasury start to be a
Louis
problem if this
Slaughterov
keeps
says,
up?
why was Pence considered a traitor? Vlad Stolyarov says they protected their positions and had one be imbalanced to buy side it close. Winston
We
Smog
can make a
says,
video.
please do a video with the two of you, pretty please.
Oh my gosh. No. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we have a game. When you come over, we have a game that you can play with us. That would be fun to record. Okay. You asked why did they think that Pence was considered a traitor? So Donald Trump was asking Mike Pence to decertify the election electors, whatever, single-handedly. They're saying that the president of the Congress can just say that they're not right, or whatever the deal is, right? And he said that he doesn't think that they can do that, and there was like a court case and everything about this too, right? And then Donald Trump put out this press release that was like, no, me and Mike Pence totally agree on this point. I don't know if they actually did or what the deal is, but then Mike Pence didn't do it. He did his job the way that it always is, and he relied on Ted Cruz to challenge the electors. So all of the Donald Trump supporters have been saying for the past like month or whatever, this is the scenario where Donald Trump stays in office that they think is going to happen. And these are, some of the people that aren't the brightest, right? These are like the QAnon types. So when Mike Pence didn't go along with the crazy scenario, they started calling him a traitor. Oh, and our robot got to profit. Someone's going to make their reputation for safe. I don't think they're going to do that. There was this, everybody saying, oh, invoke the 25th Amendment. And nah, it's not going to happen. Just relax. It doesn't help this, telling Donald Trump that you're going to remove him from office early doesn't help the situation. Then Mitt and not. I am not going to support Mitt Romney if he runs for president again. In my opinion, Mitt Romney lied to us about everything. Literally everything that he said he was going to do during his campaign was a lie. Because they're all the exact things that he's fighting against now. So it's one thing to like run a campaign and say something and then run another campaign and say something. But to run a campaign and say something and then get in office and do the exact opposite of what you said that you were going to do and the exact opposite of what all of us in the Republican Party want. Nah, Mitt is a Democrat. Like, what has he done that's Republicanish? Also, it's like I was saying I don't think you were around for this yesterday, Ace, but tell me I'm wrong. People in Utah are not really conservative. That the idea that the government closest to the people governs best and that we should give more decisions to, the communities than at the federal government, people in Utah don't actually believe it. Because in Utah, we have a monolithic church that is the church for the whole world, and everybody thinks that works just fine. And so they're actually quite prone to be totally okay with the government being in charge. They're not truly conservative. And the only reason that they are is because of moral issues like gay marriage and abortion. And it's the same thing with Mitt Romney. If it wasn't for gay marriage and abortion, Mitt Romney would be a Democrat. when he left his dog on the roof. That was, come on, that was early in his in Mitt Romney's campaign, like that. Oh, Appatusai asked which broker. So I'm using AMP futures. I've got a weird setup, okay? I'm using AMP. I execute through Jigsaw. I use NinjaTrader 8 on the side. I'm using the free version of NinjaTrader 8. And the way that I get data is I get it through Rhythmic. So I can pump data from Rhythmic Pro to both NinjaTrader 8 and Jigsaw. Now, you can't use Rhythmic in that way. Without being on the NinjaTrader brokerage, but I'm on AMP. So otherwise I'd be using my full license and maybe I'd have some other stuff up here. Maybe if I move, I need to go over to NinjaTrader brokerage, but I really want to do Edge Clear still. And you know what? I think that the Jigsaw charts are okay. They're okay. I think I still kind of need my model here, but interestingly enough, I had these past 2 days when we've been doing well, I haven't really thought about the model much at all because it frankly doesn't matter. How does that loop work on trade execution? No, it's fine. I mean, it's just going from Jigsaw to Rhythmic Trader Pro to Rhythmic, so no noticeable delay. Apparently Tesla's up and Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. Do you believe that Tesla can maintain these prices? Oh, wait. It says that Fourier is still long. Oh. Oh, I was wrong. It wants 3806. It wants 20 points. So it's going to hang on. But it's probably, I mean, we got an hour left, so we'll see what happens in an hour. But if it doesn't get it within the hour, then it'll just get out. Doesn't matter what I believe, it's what the suckers who keep buying Tesla believe. Then I'll get their stimulus check, and then they go, what stock should I buy? Oh, Tesla is the one everybody's buying. That's what's happening, I think. Why is Trading Technologies the fastest? I don't know if it is, but Trading Technologies definitely has good data. Like, they filter it less than the other guys do. I still say the cool thing about Trading Technologies is the way that their equivalent to ATM strategies is way cooler, right? Over in Trading Technologies, they're all about like, okay, like let's make you synthetic icebergs and stuff like that. I mean, they're making tools that like real institutions would use, whereas all these other platforms focus on retail traders. So I don't think Tesla will even be around in 3 years. Remember, I think that's very different from the DeLorean. So there's definitely something to this that it is well, it's been like this for a long time now, but it's worth more than all of the other car makers combined, even though they're not making as many cars. So then everybody says, well, you can't value them as a car company. It's because of the technology. But so then show me the valuation where this price makes sense with them being a technology company, because I just don't see it. But I mean, gosh, it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Fetch. Can you realize that it was 20K there that they were like, they couldn't get through for the longest time, right? 20K. And now in the course of a week, that's almost up 4 times that. Are you kidding me? And nobody's like, and again, look at the cumulative delta here on the futures. Like, I've never seen it that negative. There you go. The stock market is the perfect example of why a full democracy doesn't work. Oh my gosh, so many squawks and people on Twitter are retweeting about Elon Musk has become the richest person in the world. If I was him, I would sell. They going to take out that 28 in the 10-year, you think? It's a big old fatty order there. Everyone believes it gets to 40K, it gets there, and then buyers stop buying. Maybe. So my model says that it's overbought, but the thing that I think is unique about it this time that gives me a little bit of pause on that is that in the past when we've reached these kinds of valuations, there was like true retail mania going on and everybody had bought in and so forth. And it had essentially gotten to the point where there really wasn't anybody left to buy. You know what I mean? But this time around, that hasn't happened yet. The Google search traffic for Bitcoin is not as high as it was in 2017 still. And I'm not really seeing anybody talk about it on my Facebook or anything like that. And frankly, people are still getting stimulus checks, and you have to wonder how many of them are still going to come in and put their money into Bitcoin. But there's also some really big risks lurking out there in Bitcoin that everybody is just completely ignoring that could just put the whole kibosh on this thing, right? So I just want it known. Y'all were warned. It's overvalued, and January, what is it, 16th, 15th, 16th? 15th. January 15th is a big risk event. So you've been warned. And if something happens there, if there's a sell before that, or it comes out and there's a sell after that, I'm gonna rub it in y'all's face if you're still holding. I don't feel the least bit sorry for you. And all of my guys that have been with this channel since we started live streaming, that were big on the cryptocurrency and have supported this channel and have made good calls in the cryptocurrencies in the past are all getting out. Not just Air Cages. So we had Anthony in here too. You have a successful trader in your channel that's also a Democratis. I don't think that Ace is like outright a Democrat, but he does have some Democrat tendencies, doesn't he? Yes. You also believe in UFOs, chemtrails, Santa is a crackpot? You don't believe in Santa, Ace? Oh my gosh. Man. Don't fuck with Santa. What happens on January 16th? January 16th is the next major court date deadline for the Tether Bitfinex case with the New York Attorney General. They are required to produce documents by that date. And if they don't, I don't know what happens. But for that reason, it is a big risk event. Don't be surprised if on the 14th, 13th, and 14th that you see profit taking, because there's going to be a couple of people that are just not going to want to take the risk. If Santa is a fat, judgmental bastard, man, aches. Are you an institutional trader? No. What makes you think that? Do I look? I try. You know what? I need to get better shirts. I need to get like button-up shirts so I look serious. Maybe you guys will take me more serious. Maybe you people will respect me more if I dress the part. I really don't believe that Sugar Daddy believes any of that stuff. I thought he was just trolling us. Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't think that this kind of conspiracy theory perspective that's out there is necessarily, how do I put this? Irrational. Okay, so if you are living in a situation where you know that certain ideas are being suppressed, and that is absolutely the case, and it's not even debatable at this point because we watch it happen real time here on this stream, right? So if you know that certain information is being suppressed, then how do you know about anything? Right? It used to be that you could trust the media, and it was like, well, the media hasn't said anything about it, so it must not be a big deal, right? But you can't say that anymore. Nobody can really say that anymore. So then it turns into this, okay, I want to go and try and find everything that I can, and then you're going to hear all of these conspiracy theories, and how can you determine if any of them are true or not? Well, you're not going to get any direct evidence of it, but we don't really get any direct evidence of most of the things that we believe and are told from the news, because the news handles all that for us, you know? So then you end up with these people that just end up believing everything that comes along, or none of what comes along. Right? Because I'm no better. I believe almost none of what comes along. We're talking about Santa still. He works, what, one day a year? Makes others work for free, never takes his wife. Hey, you don't know that he makes those elves work for free. You don't think that they get paid a fair wage? They probably don't, actually. Actually, they probably don't, now that I think about it. Need to expand this column here because I can't see the 10. Santa uses illegal immigrant behavior. Where are you guys getting this stuff from? Show me 11090. Okay, you go up there, you do the investigative report, come back, let us know. But I don't see any evidence that Santa Claus is using slave labor. The North Pole wage and hour division. Will you be free Monday? No, I'll be here. But you can come on Discord and you can message me pretty much anytime and I will respond when I am able to. Oh, no, wait. You're talking to Ace, huh? I forgot about that. I forgot about that whole thing. Ignore me. Ignore me. You guys do your thing. So what do you think? Do you think that 3806 is a doable? Huh. What the hell? Josh Dossey's tweets, Trump was called into a private breakfast of members of the Republican National Convention this morning in Florida. He was put on speaker and received a loud and overwhelmingly enthusiastic reaction per people in the room. Spoke briefly to say hi and sorry to miss it. 1 minute, no discussion of yesterday, no speech tonight. Yeah, and he's going back to, like, you know, doing normal president stuff like nothing happened. I don't think anybody won an argument here. All I hear is unfounded accusations against the good man Santa Claus. And that Barr says orchestrating a mob is inexcusable. I mean, I kind of agree with him. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that Donald Trump was like organizing a mob that he thought that people were going to attack the Capitol and everything. The fact that, you know, after something happened, he told everybody to just go home says to me that he really didn't realize what he was doing. Okay. But he did do it, and it was an inexcusable mistake. Block by at 29A. They're just not going to let it get through that price, are they? You feel that? It totally did. Well, I see no reason why this can't just keep going. Certainly don't want to sell it here. I didn't really realize that he was doing both the title of his biography and his legal defense. Yeah. Well, think about it. Like, Do you think that a guy like Donald Trump, when he says all of the hyperbole that he does, is thinking, I need to put my life on the line to save the republic as he's saying that? No. The idea of putting his life on the line to save the republic, that is not something that goes through his head. But it is something that goes through the head of all of his supporters. So he was egging the crowd on, and he did not know what he was playing with. Can someone give me a quote on the 10-year Treasury B? You mean you want like the interest rate? Is that what you mean? They're 136.29. Why don't they properly audit? Because the whole system is set up to not really be easy to audit, and certainly not to be able to audit it before the president is sworn in and everything. It's really the thing that's going to be really frustrating about all of this is that I think that even if you say that there wasn't election fraud, that you have to admit that there are some things about the way that the election system works that should be changed so that there's no question. In my opinion, it is not my responsibility to just accept the results of the election. It's your responsibility to prove to me that it was done correctly. This is an important thing here in our democracy. And they've continually, over the past 10, 20 years, implemented policies that make it more and more difficult to do that. And so you would think that they would come back and they would say, okay, we should fix this. Okay, like when they're counting the ballots, they should keep counting until they're done, and there should be no going home, because it's too late or any of that nonsense. That one is like the most obvious one to me, but watch. They're not going to change it. 4 years from now, it'll be the same shit. Oh, we're arguing about that now. Let's not argue about that. Users reports indicate Coinbase is having problems since 10:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Retweet if you are also having problems. Too bad Bitcoin isn't selling. Well, here they going for the 30 to the 38 even. My, oh my, do you see that bid? He chased it. He put the bid up there and he wasn't getting it, and so he bought into it. Might have been somebody stopping out. I don't know. It's okay, Seth. You're such an idealist and think all is fair become a cynical thing. What? Is he being facetious? Washington Post calls for Trump's removal. Oh, yes. Wow, I'm really surprised the Washington Post has been such strong supporters of the president. I can't believe that they're asking for his ouster now. I'll be glad when January 20th. I'm so done with the stupid headlines, man. There's just total nonsense every day. Yeah, and here's more people tweeting about the 25th Amendment. I really don't think that's going to happen. Everybody just chill out. Gosh. Would you be giving more than kidneys if you believe your God is a God? Well, what? You know what? I'm just going to continue to not follow that conversation. You guys can go back and forth if you want. Yeah, it'll be funny once the media stops speaking truth to power for the next 2 to 4 years and everyone stops paying attention to them. No, Uzi, that would never work. Okay, because they need to still make money. So here's what they will do. If Donald Trump does anything, even if it's, not a political career, they will report on it incessantly. And anybody that was a prominent supporter of Donald Trump So especially people like Ted Cruz, Matt Gaetz, and any of the people that were kind of involved in the more of the protest matter stuff, leader of the Proud Boys, that sort of a thing, they will report on them and how evil they are incessantly. That's what's going to happen. That's where they're going to get the clicks from. Facebook restrictions on Trump's accounts will be extended. Okay. Now, that one didn't make any sense to me. He posts a video that says, okay, guys, you need to be peaceful and all this. And they banned him for that. Was like, okay, he made a post saying be peaceful. And that's against the terms of service? I don't know. What? What? Yeah, there's that Tesla headline again. So note the way that headlines come through. I just want you to take a little bit of note about, on a bull day, how do headlines come through, right? So if it's a bear day, the headline is going to be, here is the bad thing that just happened, and we're going to try and analyze it and tell you everything that there is to know about it and what you need to know. But when it's on a positive day, it's like everybody's trying to retweet the good, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world because that's what will get people to click and check their Twitter account or click their news website or whatever the deal is, right? And yeah, that's the way that it tends to go when it's a positive day. So if you're ever wondering, Lewis was sent a verification number this morning from Coinbase. Have not used them for 2 years. Really? Oh, that's interesting. Zuckerberg says Facebook and Instagram are blocking President Trump indefinitely. Let's see here. We believe the risks of allowing the president to continue to use our service during this period are simply too great. Therefore, we are extending the block we have placed on this Facebook and Instagram accounts indefinitely and for at least the next 2 weeks until the peaceful transition of power is complete. Ooh, okay. Yeah, ever since I fixed the squawk, so I had it open in 2 tabs, and that's why I was getting that echo thing. But then since I fixed it, I haven't heard from them yet. This has been a long 30 minutes, hasn't it? Gary gives us another YouTube video. Oh my gosh. After our conversation yesterday, Gary, I spent so much time trying to find, stocks. And I don't know why, but I just don't come across something that I really feel good about. Like every company that I come in and I'm like, oh, I know this company. I think that they're doing pretty well. They're already up, They're already potentially overvalued. So then it's like you got to find new companies that you don't really know. And I feel bad because I'm underinvested. And what are you going to do? Is your Discord channel open to the public? Yes, it is. There is a private channel if you're a subscriber, but I'm not really using that yet. I just posted stuff about my indicators and that whole thing this week. So, but our Discord is a public Discord. The Discord actually predates the YouTube channel. So I'm not even sure if I can call it my Discord, but like I'm responsible for everything over there, so. Oh, Gary Rich is posting us the whole thing about the Matrix is just a level of control. I get you. I get you. Anyways, what were some of the stocks I was looking at? I looked at a bunch. I like to use Simply Wall Street to kind of do my fundamental analysis, but you only get to look at like 10 stocks a month. And I pretty much used all of my pretty much used them all and didn't get anything out of it. Well, my one robot did say that it's kind of time for it to pause a little bit. I suppose that 37.97 would be an acceptable buy, but we'll see if they come back down a little bit more than that or not. Mainstream media already using Capitol Hill riot to call for more internet censorship. Ugh. Please no. To be honest, though, there was plenty of people out there on the internet basically calling for a revolution. FBI has created a website where people can upload videos and photos, but to help investigators identify the individuals who instigated the violence. You know, I find it so funny. It's like, you know what? If you go ahead, you can go in your local communities. You go to the poor, the plebeians. You want to go and burn down the neighborhood. It's totally fine. But then when you bring it to the seats of power, and you actually start questioning the government itself, then it's real shit, right? Maybe. Sugar Daddy saying, I bet Matt is losing it. Or maybe he knows that everybody's going to buy, and so he bought too. Who knows? Me and him, we need to like start talking or something, because you guys talk about him too much. And I just feel bad. Because I know I don't like his strategy, but he's going to do what he's going to do, right? But I just feel bad every time we're talking about other people. I don't feel like we should do that. And I don't want him to think that I dislike him or anything. I don't know a thing about him. And I just think that those of us that are doing live streaming with futures should know each other. That's all. He is right now on a losing chart. Really? Wait, from where? What price? No, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. He's going to tell me anyways. Look at this. It's going. They going to take it? They going to take it? Well, I did remember one of my robots just kind of tried to take a short here too. Although you don't see the stuff out here because, oh, actually it does. Okay, so this one is, yeah, there's a stop loss. That's cool. And then my other one, my Fourier, he wants 3806. Yeah, I need to do something about the inventory bars. I tried a couple of things yesterday and they didn't work. Is it using volume profile? No, it's not. I guess that's really the next step that we should do is trying some robots based on volume profile stuff, but I'm not exactly sure how I would want to create a volume profile type robot. Maybe I could go in and I could say if we tick above a significant step in the profile and it stays there or something like that, then it tries to take it long. I don't know. Yeah, you're 30 minutes late, Win. Is he like actually actively on television right now though? We were seeing the tweets about it. Facebook blocks Trump indefinitely. No. So I saw that headline too, but when you look at the statement that Facebook released, they're saying that they're going to keep him blocked until after the transition of power. So presumably he'll be able to tweet again on January 21st. Let's see, how are you guys doing in Discord in the equity indexes? I haven't had that channel open here. Oh, that was from like a month ago. That's so funny. They were posting some pictures from a month ago when everybody was excited about hitting 3,700, and now we're at 3,800, and it's like, maybe refresh the page. I'm telling you what, if you don't use TweetDeck, that's the way to keep up on stuff. Well, I'm still waiting in the 10-year for them to hit this 28. I want to see it. I want to see somebody come in, hit with 3,000 contracts, and then everybody go, oh shit, and puke. That would be great. That cough didn't feel good or sound good, did it? It's getting into my lungs. I hope not. Yeah, 25th Amendment. I've been seeing that one too. Arthritis drug may reduce COVID mortality, says study. Do you not use stops on ZN? Oh, that's a good question, my friend. I do, but this is a swing trade, and well, I should have one up here, I guess. But so basically, what happened was yesterday I came in and I'm like, well, you sell the treasuries off of this, and so I sold it and just let it do its thing, and I'm still in it. Which on a sim account, of course, I wouldn't be able to do that live. I'm not a heavy hitter, but I'm kind of looking at this like as long as I see this, I think that I should just take the trend and just let it run. So I'm going to do that. Trump banned Antifa in DC, so they came dressed as Trumpers. I guess I have to say, I find it more than a little bit frustrating that I've been seeing these guys on the Donald and on TikTok and all this week talking. Some of these creators that TikTok will show me yesterday were saying like, oh, we should start taking out senators and stuff like that. I was just like, this is ridiculous, guys, and I don't think that Donald Trump wants this. and then one or two Antifa guys infiltrated the protests, and all of a sudden, none of that was us. It was all Antifa. Bull crap. They were pushing it all week, and there were MAGA people in there. The majority of the people that were going in there were Donald Trump supporters. The minority of them, yes. I don't think that it should be like that this should negatively impact every other Republican or Donald Trump supporter, even though it probably will. But it was a minority of people that disobeyed the police and went in there. But they did do it, and they were Donald Trump supporters, and that's just a fact. Surprisingly, it's the Fan Gang rally today. Yeah, well, it's interesting that they were being hurt, so up until now, and especially earlier in the week, it was really those tech companies, because they don't think that the Democrats are going to be nice to the tech companies, and now today they're just going up like nothing happened. Religion and politics. I know. I don't get what he's going on about. The thing is the arguments that I'm seeing you guys throw back and forth don't really seem to have any kind of real... Sounds like it's getting too personal. You know what I mean? What's Bitfinex here saying? Maybe it's institutionalized investors, like one dude that shakes as he talks and it has a pro gamer chair. What? Yep, institutional investors are sending billions of dollars to an offshore entity that has hundreds of millions of dollars seized by multiple government agencies right after the United States Treasury puts out a death warrant for the existing stablecoin arrangements. I agree. I don't really think that it's institutional investors. I keep seeing people saying that like Bitcoin is getting institutional acceptance, and people aren't using it. It's not being adopted from what I can see. By the way, I saw this infographic about like the amount of trade that happens through Tether compared to other things, and it was ridiculous. Okay, well, we'll pull back a little bit. I think that there could be another push higher. I would sure love to see the robot try and hold it, but I think that what is going to happen is he's going to take his licks. What's his soy muncher? Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Also on the Bitcoin front, Bitfinex minted like $700 million today. That's ridiculous. Okay, so do you think that somebody came in and just bought $700 million worth of tethers? I'm skeptical. The Trump campaign's e-commerce site closed by Shopify. Oh no. Do you long 28 and looking for wow, look at that. You just got somebody's stack on you. I'm liking the trade to the way that it's going so far, but I'm kind of wondering what you're looking at that just tells you that it's going to go 2 ticks. I also kind of wonder what your stop is. If your stop is less than 26, then I'm kind of like, Like less than 4 ticks in ZB seems a little sketchy to me. Sketchy as in like be a little weary about how reliable of a trade that is. CBTN size was holding the point of control. Yeah, you're doing that sort of a thing. Okay. 2 ticks, 5 tick stop is no thank you. Probably make money for a while. It's okay, Seth. We're just children at heart. Oh, you're trying to take it off at 93? Or no, that's your stop. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a decent day either way. I mean, I did good. I should have taken way more trades because I haven't taken one since 75, and they went 25 more points up after that, didn't they? Wow. Now, a lot of that was after that news, so I'm okay with missing that big jump from 75 to 90. And the robot took it. Fortunately, it looks like the robot is going to come up a little short today. Is it time to buy the Z? I don't know. Well, I mean, look at that iceberg at 29. It looks to me so. Oh, you know what? We gotta realize is that there are auctions today, and I believe, I don't know when or if it's already happened, but there is also where they announce how many bonds are going to be put out for the next week or whatever. How many bonds they're going to auction off. So that might be constraining the treasuries. Chevron. So I was also, another thing is, as I was looking at oil companies, I actually found a number of oil companies that seemed like they were okay. But I'm kind of looking at it now, and I'm like, I don't know if oil companies are actually going to do all that great under a Joe Biden administration. You know what I mean? So maybe it's still a buy. Maybe that some could still be a buy as a value play, but now what was the one that let me see. There was one that I did find that actually looked undervalued, but I can't remember what it was. That's you. Oh, that's right. Okay, I'll tell you which one it is, all right? Freeport McMoran. So Freeport McMoran appears to be undervalued compared to its fair value, but there's reasons why it's trading so low, right? Because they lost money bad. And they aren't expected to grow as well as maybe they should. This year they are, but after that, anyways, it looked like it was an okay valuation play. FCX. but it didn't look like it was one that I really wanted to stick my neck out for, so I didn't buy it. Hard market, I wish I would have been at the open on the screen. Yeah, it was easy if you were there at the open, Toasty. Oh, they gave plenty of time to get in. Now it really has been kind of choppy. This just goes back into the how do you know when it's going to be choppy? Or how do you know if it's going to be up or down? Because if I knew that it was going to be up or down, I could just tell the robots only take longs. Then the inventory bars wouldn't have taken that stupid short. I mean, they're still going to make money today, but... Yeah, if you can get in on the open, you know which way it's going to go, and you can be in before and have a lot baked in before it comes, then those are great. But otherwise... But today's open wasn't really very messy. It was actually quite slow. So is he losing? No, it's not, actually. So wait, why do I get... Oh, I see. Because this is where that other one stopped out. So it's saying that its position is from there. But when that's not really what happened. But it's okay. The real money isn't storming this. No. Hey, stop it. Gonna get that stream taken down. You're too lazy. I wake up at 5:30. And you can just be like, oh, I'm too lazy to do that. It's not fair. They're gonna hit it. I want to see that 28 go. You know what I mean? They're holding an offer there. Maybe we get it here in the next 10 minutes. It could be fun. Heavy lockdown coming. I think that the Democrats will lock things down. 5:30 is so early. No, I get you. I wake up at 5:30 and I try to be at the computer by 6:20. Lately, though, I've been taking to this morning. I took way too long to eat. Yay! Oh yeah. Go. Okay, so the breaking, hitting 27.5, hitting some into 27 now as well. And it's stacking down as we go. Now, the market makers on the bid are still not pulling out of the way, but they are definitely chomping at the bit to sell into it when it gets there, don't they? Should I get up and fight the market or stay in Kellebank? Okay, if the market moves before 7 o'clock are bad, then. But at 6 o'clock in the morning, if I try cuddling my wife, I get my face pawed off. Do you trade TN at all? The volume is really ramping up and getting close to ZN? Oh, that's interesting. I could look at it. I've never really done it. I don't see why. The question is why. What would be the advantage of me trading it in TN versus ZN? Say it's sort of like ZB. Well, then that makes me want to not trade it. You need to cuddle test the wife. I guarantee you, she's asleep. And she will not want. Where's the minimum price fluctuation? 15.625. You say that is better movement. Well, that's because you're doing something that I highly recommend against prolonged wealth. I'm not gonna try and this is like I was saying, like I can explain it to people, and I know that no matter what I say that they're not gonna listen. But when you take on more risk than what you make on a per trade basis, so if you're risking 5 ticks to make 2 ticks, you will on average tend to make money, and then you will have this one time period that's just like absolutely dismal. That's what tends to happen. So I totally get, yeah, you would want an instrument that moves around a little bit more to make a trade like that, sure. But I'm like explicitly avoiding that. Nothing wrong with more babies. I don't think she wants another baby. Not that she doesn't want another kid, but I don't think she wants to go through pregnancy again. Because that last one coming out was a little traumatic. Sometimes taking extra risks is great, and sometimes when a trend day you lose big, yeah. Well, for sure, you definitely would not want to be doing it unless you were certain that it was in the direction of the trend or that we weren't getting a trending market for you. That volatility is killing you, Kenshin? No. Tends to be quiet around this time, doesn't it? So what very often happens is they wait for the European traders to go away, and then the pump comes back in, right? I don't know if that's what's going to happen today, but because they did reach like one standard deviation, with hitting 93, I'm not really so sure that they're going to go to 38.21 today. But I hope that they would be able to go a little bit higher because they've got this robot that's long and all that. I'm wondering if I should change it and let the robots take up to 4 contracts and see what happens. No. We need to wait on the. So far though, it seems like these robots are performing trading the way that they should. So I don't know if I can look at the strategy through previous days. Can I? Am I allowed to see that? Real time and historical, maybe? And so here it is today. Took two trades. One worked and one didn't. Oh yeah, and the short was stopped out early. Oh, so great. Oh my gosh. Oh, but you see, you can't even change the dates. I want to see what it did for the whole week. I haven't been tracking it very well. Yep, I'll see you later, Ace. It's almost time to shut the stream down anyways. What should we put in for the name? I think that we should put the name that Ace makes unfounded accusations against Santa Claus. I think that's what today's video is going to be titled. Because that was hilarious, man. I can back up every... Or how would the media phrase it? Ace accuses Santa Claus of labor law violations without evidence. Well, that I don't even think that would all fit. Let's try. Yeah, it's 3 characters too much. I guess we don't need to say Santa Claus. We can just say Santa of labor violations without evidence. There you go. CNN would actually prove Santa was a tax evader. You know that if Donald Trump said that, they would be like, actually, no right to the street. Oh my gosh, Ace. Yes. Perhaps someday when we'll be safe and we can run for office. I don't know. I think that first, before something like that happens, that we have to live in a world where Jews can walk around outside without being harassed by the police. Okay. Will this fit Santa as a fat judge? I don't think that will fit, actually. Without evidence. This is my favorite part, is that it's without evidence. Because that's what this... I don't know why the media uses that phrase, but they always do that, and it's like, come on. Okay, so it got out there. Oh, wait, did it actually try taking it long there? Oh, that's so sad. Okay, well... So between the two of them, they made 70... Oh. Actually made... No. If I just only do E-minis, how did I make... I made 60. Technically, they made a little bit more than me. That's a first. Well, I need to go through it a little bit, but I'm really liking these algorithms. These two. I'm still a little miffed that Brandon's not trading it. Brandon, what's your deal? I don't know what the deal is. Oh, I know what the problem is. Wait, shouldn't it should fix that? Why isn't that? Okay. Well, we can fix that. I know why Brandon's not working. There's some settings in him that are wrong. But Joseph and our other unnamed friend, those are great. I just they're not very good at, like, you know, are we buying or selling? I need to come up with a better way of determining, because it seems to me that, like, what does the moving average say, and are we positive or negative on the day and all that? That's not enough. Because it can take some really good counter trades. It just needs to not take it when we're having a trend update, you know? I think I can manage that manually. I don't know. Like on Monday, or not Monday, whatever day it was. I could have just said, okay, now just disable this one on this day. I don't know. But it's pretty good. Well, we should do it for 2 weeks. We'll do it for 2 weeks and we'll see. And I need to keep better stats, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay profitable, friends.